right, man.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to tonight's edition of Tag Team Talk. We have a very special guest tonight. We have Sam McBride, also known as Sammytown, lead singer of Fang. Sam is something of a legend. Been in the business for at least 30 years now.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, 30 years. Fang started in 1980, so I guess 33 years. And before that, I was in some bands, but mainly Fang's been the band that's lasted the longest. And
yeah, along the way, you've had a couple of different bands. In fact, the last one was the
Disciples. The Disciples may do a reunion tonight. Tonight we're playing a show here at 924 Gilman, and this band is Cornelius Asperger and the Bi-Curious Unicorns. And it's a newer band. It's me and some old players, though. Jamie Dangerous from Disarm, Tom Flynn, who was also in Fang with me in the beginning and played in Star Pimp, played in the Melvins for a little while, and Dave Chavez played in Code of Honor, Verbal Abuse, Sick Pleasure. He's it's a bunch of guys just got together around.
Well, that's great. You guys all get together and just keep reforming bands.
Yeah. It's
over the years.
What they call it, incestuous.
There you go.
Yeah, it's East Bay incest.
Back about 10, 15 years ago, you had something called the Resistoleros.
Resistoleros. That band was it's been about 10 years. We that band crashed and burned. And what else? Fang, Resistoleros, Disciples. I had a band called Saddam's Angels for a minute, and then more, Cornelius Asperger and the Bi-Curious Unicorns, But through it all, Fang has continued on.
So is this the premier event for Cornelius Asperger?
This is our, I think, third live show. So it's not our premier event, but it's our third live show. We have some other East Bay bands that reformed tonight that are reuniting for the show. One is a band called Special Forces, another early 80s punk rock band, and then a band called Blatz, which are a 90s East Bay punk rock band. Both those bands reunited for the show tonight. It's a benefit for Mikey Filth, who's got cancer problems. So old East Bay people are coming out trying to raise some money for him.
You've been playing Fang all along. Was there ever a chance that you were gonna just dissolve Fang and go with something new, and then you got called back, or is Fang sort of your first love?
And Fang was definitely my first love. I know that when I went to prison, Fang disbanded for a long time, and then when I got out, that's the band I started with again. I don't know, it's like I'll never do a last Fang show again because it has been a long time since we did a last Fang show. And hey, did you find it?
Just going to look for it.
Greg did?
Yeah.
I think it's still in. Did you roll it out?
He did. He rolled it out.
I hope it's not in the elevator. I know it wasn't in the hallway. Anyway,
Sammy's shooting up in there again? Man, come on, Sammy, I'm here.
I'm trying to find a vein. Back up off me, fool.
Starts getting wet under there, you know what's
Yeah. That's Jamie Dangerous.
Okay.
So where were we? I'm never going to do a last Fang show because
You don't want to be a hypocrite.
Well, yeah, and it's like I tried to do that, and we've done plenty of them, and I still love doing it, so I'm going to just keep doing it until either I can't do it anymore, or I stop loving doing it. And I figure after 33 years, if I still love doing it now, chances are I'll still love doing it 10 years from now,
So, one of the things, you used to live up in Petaluma where you had a place called The Farm.
Right.
And you used to invite people who were trying to get their lives together.
Yeah, we bring junkies up and help them kick on the couch. It had been a rehab that closed down, and Jamie and I lived up there, and when it closed down, we lived up there, and we tried to keep the place in the spirit of what it was before it closed, so we help bring people up there and help them get clean.
But you're not doing that anymore?
No, well, they finally sold the farm, so moved back to the East Bay, And now I go to Salvation Army, and I work with the guys down in the Salvation Army once a week, trying to help those guys out down there.
So you're still pretty active in your recovery?
Yeah, it's still very active in my recovery. Like I said, go down to Salvation Army once a week, and just help other guys try to get clean. Because that's what somebody did for me.
I know this guy who's got a thing for this girl.
You're like a dead fish.
I can't help it.
But he never did anything about it.
We never even kissed. What's the big frickin' deal?
And now she's getting married.
2, 3.
He's also got a thing for this other girl.
I know you love me.
But he totally blew it with her.
If that's what it takes.
Oh my God.
He might still have a thing for this other girl, but the timing is all wrong. So this weekend, he's in Las Vegas.
This is Vegas, baby. Take a gamble.
Getting abused by pretty girls.
You're a real pain in the ass.
Do you have any his and hers jewelry?
No.
Getting sage wisdom from the delivery man.
Storm the altar, slug the best man, do a Sinatra ballad, then kiss her in front of everybody. She'll eat it up.
You would do that?
Me? No. But you should.
Maybe you know this guy.
It seems to me like all your actions are geared toward getting me to give you what you want me to give you, which I don't want to give you, but you want me to want to.
Was that English?
Better than he knows himself.
Do not vomit on me.
Your imaginary friend is here on the flight? Do you talk often? Can you see him now? What does he look like?
She thinks you're wasted.
Took a room and low rent.
Have you slowed down much?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that I'm definitely not 16 anymore, so I tend to not get as bloody as I used to. But we played here at 924 Gilman 2 weeks ago, and it was pretty off the hook. There's a couple pictures of some stage dives I did, and so I still, for me, punk rock is definitely about the live energy when you play, and so. If that part isn't there, then for me it's not, it doesn't work for me. At least when we play.
Hey, can you talk a little more about that? What is it about punk that first drew you to it and then keeps it alive in you for all these many years?
I mean, I think punk rock came about, at least for me. Everybody's got a different take on punk rock. For me, I was dissatisfied with the way the world was. It's like the way things are, the way the world was. I mean, I think there was a big part of it that was extremely nihilistic in the 80s. We all thought we were going to die. We thought that Reagan was going to push the button. We thought that there was either going to be a nuclear war or they were building nuclear reactors or there was either going to be a war or there was going to be a meltdown. So it was sort of like, I think punk rock was planning for the apocalypse. But I think it basically came out of just really, disaffected, dissatisfied youth, and so, I'm not a youth anymore, but certainly I'm still, I still feel the same way about the way the world is. I don't, politics, everything, it's a joke, whoever's the president is Clinton, Bush, Obama, they're puppets, and just society in general. It's a sick commercial. American society is sick,
If anything, all the stuff that sort of brewed to make punk happen in the first place, it's only gotten worse over the years, right? Do you find a corresponding surge in new punk rockers over the years?
No, I think.
And do they have any money to buy your album?
I do think that things in some ways have gotten worse, and but for whatever reason, the youth now, for whatever reason, aren't as pissed off about it as we were. In general, at least that's my take. There's never been another sort of revolution, there was the beatniks, there was the hippies, there was punks, but after that there was no real music revolution that came to the fore from disaffected youth in the United States or in Europe, you know, that nothing filled that void, you know, that each scene creates, you know, and I don't know why that is, you know, I don't know why the kids aren't pissed, or if they are pissed, you know, they don't seem to have, you know, I mean, hip hop to a degree, I think, you know, it did happen with hip hop, but really after that, there hasn't been anything that's come into, you know.
So do you think that might be because kids are more resigned to the way things are, or do you think there might be more of a sense of hopefulness than when we were youth?
I don't think kids grow up thinking that they're going to die like we did. I mean, even though all those threats are still there, there's still the threat of nuclear war, there's still the threat of meltdowns. I mean, you know, you've got all that coming, you know, from Japan, from Fukushima, but for whatever reason, and I don't know what the reason is, I don't think the youth feel threatened by that the way we did, you know, that they, and why that is, I don't know. Maybe there is more hope, you know.
So you're a family man these days. Can you tell us anything about that? You have two beautiful kids, Max and Ruby, right?
Right.
I think last time I heard Ruby was staying with you. Is that so?
Yeah, Ruby's been living with me now for 4 or 5 years. She's 15. Max is 18. He's going to college. Ruby's going to high school.
Chip off the old block.
Yeah. Ruby definitely is following in my footsteps a little more than Max, and that's a whole. That's been an interesting. That's been interesting, you know, and you know it's interesting to. She thinks that I don't know anything, even though you know the way I lived my life when I was her age was insane. You know, it's like I know what she's thinking, you know, and she sits there and she thinks that dude doesn't know. He's old. He's f***ed up, you know, and yeah, having kids is a trip, and teenage kids, you know, because I certainly remember what it was like to be a teenager, you know, and so it's scary in some ways because also I know, you know, I know all too well how things can go south.
I really need some advice.
Hell no. I'm afraid of work. We're all afraid of work. That's why we do this.
You must get something out of it or you wouldn't do it.
We have a situation.
I'm at the end of my rope.
I could have an attack any second.
Can I get a new brother?
You can have this one.
You were in that movie with Jake Taffeta and the Talking Mouse.
They like to fool around with their suits on.
Are you involved in a fur triangle?
My whole life was flashing before me.
It sounds like you're just not truly committed.
Lately, I have been doing sensitivity training at the penitentiary.
Where does it end?
I will be keeping my eye on you two.
I am a good boyfriend.
I'm from Pasadena.
Drugs?
It's like I was floating for the rest of the day. I'm just gonna be more obnoxious.
Why don't you go out and get really drunk or something, you know? Are you gonna throw up?
Are you guys reporters?
You guys brothers.
How do you feel about this man choosing golf over you?
Whoa.
So.
Hey, let me take over here. Let me take over.
Come on, tag.
Okay, yeah.
Tag. All right.
All right, good enough.
Sam!
Emmett.
What do you do to blow off steam?
I don't know if I can talk about that. What do I do to blow off steam? I play punk rock music to blow off steam. It still works for me, you know. Still play music, you know.
Who have been your influences? Like, who is your influences at the beginning, and who is nowadays?
Musical influence?
Yeah.
I mean, early on, definitely Sex Pistols, Bad Brains, you know, The Damned, you know, a lot of the early English bands. Susie and the Banshees, DOA from Canada, and then, you know, I mean, I still go out to see live music all the time, you know, and I still love seeing bands. We played in Europe over the summer with a band from Copenhagen called Night Fever, and they were awesome. You know, they
great name.
Energy. I know, it's kind of, you know, I'm like, dude, what's that all about? And the singer's like, don't ask. I'm like, all right. But, you know, killer energy, you know, they reminded me like of a cross between Cro-Mags and Glucifer, you know, and so it's great when I go out, you know, see shows and see new bands that, you know, to me have the energy, the angst, you know, and they're continuing on in the scene, you know. I mean, but I listen to all kinds of music now. You know, we just Fang just recorded a cover of Riot in Cell Block No. 9, which Wanda Jackson made famous, and you know, so I get influences from, you know, a lot of different genres.
And who's covered your music? I know about like Nirvana,
Green Day, Mudhoney. Somebody just found a live Metallica version of a Fang song that they posted on Facebook. Butthole Surfers. There's been a lot of bands,
wow,
you know, that have covered Fang over the years.
What is life like on tour?
What is life like? Yes. Life on tour. I don't want to dispel any great, you know, like rock and roll myths, but life on tour is a lot of driving, a lot of hanging out at clubs. I don't drink anymore, so, you know, not a lot of drinking.
So you're in bed early and...
I wouldn't say that because, you know, you play 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes, but life on the road, you know, it's something that I think you're either like made for it or you're not.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you either love doing it or you're like, this is rough, you know. And I mean, I think for some bands, I guess, you know, bands that make a lot of money or whatever, they have like nice tour buses and like that. But we're a van tour band, you know, and load a bunch of guys, sometimes my dog, you know, and a bunch of equipment, and we just go, you know. And
where do you stay?
Sometimes now we'll stay in hotels, you know, sometimes we crash at people's houses, you know. In Europe, a lot of the clubs there actually have apartments that are built into the, you know, that are built in the clubs, so, you know, they have a place for you to stay, which is awesome. Touring in Europe is definitely, they treat you a little better over there than here. You know?
At this point,
all right,
what is the most important thing in your life?
At this point, what is the most important? You know, I would have to say...
yeah, you got to name
They're gonna feel left out.
in alphabetical order. That's true, yeah.
My kids and music. You know, I mean, that's, you know, music is the thing that's kept me alive, you know, through a lot of hard times that I've created and you know, myself, but hard times nonetheless. And that's the one thing that, you know, I love my kids. My passion is music. It always has been, and it always will be. You know, that's what I get up in the morning for. You know, and yeah, I love music. I love playing live. I love live music. I love going to see it. You know, and that's to me what life is all about.
Here's a bonus question.
Bonus question.
He's taking
bonus round.
All right.
At this point, are you able to just rely on your music to make a living, or you still have to do other stuff?
You know, I still have to work, you know, off and on. I mean, you know, I've been pretty fortunate where, you know, it's like work for a while and then go on tour, you know, and then work for a while and then go on tour, you know. So, I mean, I definitely don't make a living off of music. I do music because that's what I love to do, you know. And I'm sure probably if you added it all up in the long run, I've ended up paying more than I've made, you know. I would imagine, you know. I don't know if I could say I broke even, you know, but I mean, it's what I do, you know. And it's not about the money, you know. It's just about connecting with people, and you know, and having that you know, pure moment of energy when you're playing live and the crowd's going off and it's insane, and that's the best high I've ever had.
Open your eyes, my child.
Who are you? Can you predict the future?
I don't like to.
Am I going to be waiting around for a husband or what? Aren't there any women without sin?
Well, actually, I do know of one.
Your mother, right? Then you come up with something.
All right, how about we just open up the door and let everybody hug you?
That's boring. Look, now people are dancing, even my parents.
Yes, they're all convulsing in misery.
Baloney. I'm not going to cry at any of their funerals either. Would you please turn off that horrible music? You make me want to commit suicide. That ought to stir him up.
Well, Sammytown, thank you very much. That's all the time we have. It's been great talking to you, and more power to you on the road and in the future. That's all we have tonight from 924 Gilman Street and Tag Team Talk.
This one is a band called Black Flag. Their music just is always like called out to me, you know, and I'm all about that, not giving up, you know, no matter what it is. So that one really called out to me. I got that one when I was 16, I think, and I had to get it touched up because it was a little crappy. So this one right here is Crop Circle, and I first got this because I read a book about it in 2012, and you know, I'm like the biggest conspiracy buff around. This one is Straight Edge Tattoo. It's just, you know, not doing drugs, not drinking, no promiscuous sex. There's a band called Minor Threat, which is the same type of band as Black Flag. You know, they're just like a hardcore band. And it's, the song's just about not, you know, doing the drugs and drinking and smoking. And it's also about kind of like being out of step with society. I, you know, never felt like I was in sync and in step, you know. And so I just, that's why I got that one. Just, I've never really felt like I fit in, kind of, you know. This one right here, I just, I got because, you know, it's self-explanatory. So death frees every soul. I'm not afraid to die. And when I do die, I just know there's something waiting for me, you know.
It looks like Davy Jones from
yeah, a lot of people tell me that. I actually, but yeah, there's not really any meaning behind it. I just thought it was cool as you know. Yeah. I've had this shirt for a long time, so I just got it tattooed on me because, I don't know, I'm kind of down with pain too, so I thought I might as well get it on my shin. My favorite bands, I really like, well, that one's Black Dahlia Murder, and they're pretty good, but I'm really into like Vital Remains and, you know, Decapitated, Necrophag, just really like heavy like that. Damn. Really into Deicide too. What it is it's two guys, and they're connected, right? But they don't want to be, so they're pulling apart from each other and trying to separate, but they really can't separate. And they're emerging from a brain. And what it is, it's just supposed to symbolize, like, because my head, you know, is just like always at war, you know, there's always two guys up there, and they really conflict with each other. They're trying to separate, but they can't, you know. I'm one of those people who's kind of up upstairs.
What's this one? This is excellent.
Oh, here's another straight edge tattoo, just like this one. Just about not doing drugs, not drinking, not smoking.
Oh, wow! This is great! Do you get many takers?
Folks stop from time to time.
I love this. You know, I do a lot of volunteer work myself. I like to give back to the community from which I came.
What sort of volunteer work?
Lately, I have been doing sensitivity training at the penitentiary.
You mean at the prison?
Yes, it's so great.
That's terrific. That's not terrific?
I'm getting somewhat mixed results.
I've heard the incarcerated can be unpredictable.
I just want to make a difference in people's lives.
Who's training who to be sensitive?
Haha, I'm training them, silly. I think. I've been working with these two cellmates who are having trouble getting along. You know, they're in each other's personal space and they aren't respecting each other's boundaries. So I'm teaching them to use I statements.
Speaking with their eyes?
No, it's when one guy says, when you blah, 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 I feel yada, yada, yada. It gets people to open up from the heart and share on a feeling level without a lot of accusation and blame.
See,
If you would just be patient and listen.
You sound accusatory.
Anyways, it allows someone else to listen with an open heart without getting defensive.
So I'm just trying to get a picture here. You're doing this at the prison with the prisoners?
Yes. So the other day, Billy said to his cellmate Tank, Tank, when you rape and brutalize me, I feel devalued as a person. So I said, wow, Billy, I think it takes great courage to express those feelings. Thank you for your honesty. Tank, how would you like to respond to Billy's feelings using I statements of your own?
This will be good.
So Tank said, when you give me your cornbread at lunch today, I felt full.
That sounds like results.
You think? I'm not sure I'm getting through to them.
You said you wanted to give back to the community, but how is that your community? Are you a convict?
Oh, no. Not even. I'm from Pasadena. I volunteer for an organization that sends me out to different community centers.
I never thought of a prison as a community center. That's very enlightening.
I don't usually go to prisons. I used to date the guy who gives out the assignments, but I broke up with him, and the next day I got sent to the prison.
Aha! A disgruntled former boyfriend.
Maybe, but when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right?
I'm a little concerned about the kind of lemonade that you'd be finding in a prison.
They're just people. They were all somebody's baby once.
True, but maybe don't point that out to them.
This sounds fun. Do people actually sit down and talk to you?
Why, yes.
Oh, I guess I kind of did, didn't I?
Are you going to keep doing the prison thing?
I don't know. I wish I could do something simple and direct like this.
Why can't you?
You're welcome to join us anytime you want. We like to encourage the volunteer spirit.
And we love having guest panelists.
Really? It wouldn't be weird?
You would bring a different yet equally valid perspective to the table.
Different how?
Well, you're sort of a girl.
But in a good way.
Maybe I should just go back to prison.
The way you phrased that statement may indicate your true feelings.
What? Oh, go back to prison instead of go back to the prison?
And people at the beach can always use more sensitivity.
They not only black out the sun, but sometimes each other.
Whoa. Okay.
She does the dance of the seven veils.
Golf guy, scene 1, take 1-9. Thank you very much. Slap.
Oh, you didn't say action, sorry.
Action.
I have great news for the viewers at home. Do you know you can get your GED, air conditioner repair? Oh, I'm sorry, all right, I'll behave. Do you want us to do it again?
Yes,
Sorry.